Hey everybody, welcome back to Truth or Square. We're gonna take a little look around the rest of the pineapple here at the start. There's a bunch of items in here that you can upgrade. I saw a thing about that earlier. I don't know what that means. Like, you can upgrade Gary's bowl. I haven't done any of that yet. I have plenty of points or money. I don't know what their name of them are, but the little SpongeBob coins. I have plenty of them. I could probably upgrade them, but I haven't yet. Maybe I'll do that in the next part and see what that does. And I don't know what that means. Clearly there are some mysteries to be solved in this game. But first we are going to do another level, and it's Mr. Krabs time with not Clancy Brown as the voice actor.
Mr. Krabs, I have terrible news. How do I put this? Oh, I got it.
That's a really good bit of facial animation on SpongeBob there. Yeah, I don't know what it is with Clancy Brown that he, like, never voices Mr. Krabs in the video games, it seems. I mean, I don't think it's that he's, like, too booked and busy or whatever, because he does other stuff, and he's not in, like, anything crazy. I don't know. Meanwhile, Tom Kenny, I mean, I don't know how he has time to do anything but voice SpongeBob for shit with how much of stuff he's in. I like one of the answers to this just being poison is poisoning SpongeBob's mind. It's a great premise for an episode. Also, I wanted to finish a thought. Yeah, here's a new move. Cannon shot. This is the bubble bowl, essentially. Although the cool thing about this one is that it does like a pinball thing. There are little like bumpers that'll show up, and you can do like a multi-directional shot at stuff. And we're gonna do a bunch of it because that's what this whole level is using that thing to hit the burger on the machines, and that makes burger come out, and it feeds them to the anchovies, and once you've fed the anchovies in the bus, then you get prize. And by that I mean the level continues. But yeah, I wanted to finish a thought from the last episode because I realized that I kind of didn't. When I mentioned the cast recording of the Shanghai episode that had been making the rounds on the internet recently, that I talked a bit about, the thing I was like working up to say but ended up getting sidetracked was that I almost want to try, like, maybe I'll do it on stream or something, or for a video, trying to like recreate the episode's dialogue track from scratch using the cast recording audio, because like to see if I can, how accurate I am at like selecting the right takes. I think that could be a fun challenge. But I don't think all of the takes that are in the final episode are in that recording, because there's some stuff that's different, like the umbilical cord line being changed to anchor rope. It's not reflected in that recording. Maybe I did say that in the last video, but I don't know. If I didn't, then now I did, so whatever. Also, like, this is random, but I recently became aware of something that I find truly odd, which is that apparently there are a lot of people who, when they were kids, and I guess still now, some of them, but when they were kids, they thought that the end credits music for SpongeBob that like plays at the end of each episode is scary. The like do 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 do, that little tune, and the like yellow floral background with pink letters with this very like chill Hawaiian theme. Apparently a bunch of people, when they were growing up, they thought that it was like eerie and spooky, and like and not just that, but like terrifying. Like it was something they dreaded seeing. which I feel like you could only really do on the DVDs, because I feel like half the time on TV, the end credits of the show would just be, like, pushed off, like, squished in the side while you're watching an ad for whatever the fuck. But, I gotta say, I don't get that one. And that's, you know, and I was a kid who was scared of a lot of things, so, I was very sensitive as a little child, so I'm pretty sympathetic to people who were freaked out by things that are kind of silly. It can still be funny to me. Like, my sister, I'm certain that I have said this before in a video, but my older sister, when we were younger, when Happy Feet came out, there was a period of time where, like, she didn't want to go to Blockbuster because they had a big Happy Feet poster out front, and she thought that the penguins from Happy Feet were terrifying. But, like, I get that more than thinking that the SpongeBob credits are scary. So if you're one of those people, I don't mean to insult you, but that's kind of fucking whack, if I'm being honest. I don't understand that at all. It's very chill music. I've read people's, like, explanations online of, like, why they feel that way, and I just don't understand, you know? But, you know, we can't all be the same. And I mean, there was certainly stuff that scared me as a kid in SpongeBob, too. I think the earliest thing was probably the close-up of the... I don't know if it's like a bee or what in the actual footage itself. It's like a bee sound, but the sound effect is kind of what, like, makes it worse. If it was a different sound, it might not even be that bad, but I just, especially after when I was a little kid, I had an experience with a bee, like, flying directly into my ear, and it just really fucking bothered me and freaked me out, and so I just was always very, like, sensitive about the, like, sound, and I was like, ugh. So that little buzz sound with the close-up of the bug face in Wormy was like a close my eyes and plug my ears whenever it's on TV moment for me when I was like 6 and that episode came out, or whenever, probably earlier than that. And what else? I don't know, that was the only one from, like, the early episodes that I can really remember being scary to me. The infamous scene in House Fancy is not really scary, but, like, disturbing and gross. That was the next... It really took until then for me to have a episode where I, like... I mean, I remember I remember watching that episode for the first time when it was new on TV and turning it off when that happened, because I was like, fuck this. This sucks. I wasn't enjoying the episode up to that point either, that's the thing. Like, it was already at that point, even though I think that's like the first episode of season 6, but I think the actual, like, air dates aren't exactly in the same order as the episode dates, the episode numbers. Which is true for seasons 2 and 3 as well. But I was already, you know, the show was already kind of losing me by that point, and then at that point I was like, well, if it's not gonna be funny and it's gonna be aggressively fucking nasty like a lot of other shows on Nickelodeon at that time, then I was just not interested. And I mean, I held on for a little bit longer, and then the I jumped the shark moment I have determined really was this episode that this game is based on, funnily enough. Because yeah, actually, in between the last segment and this one, I actually went ahead and watched the Truth or Square episode for the first time in like 10 years. And And yeah, it's not very good. It's a pretty bad episode of SpongeBob. It is an hour long, and meaning it was a 90-minute broadcast, and the patchy segments make up like half of it, and it's pretty brutal because all he's doing is just calling celebrities and asking them to be a celebrity cameo, and they're saying no, but obviously that is the celebrity cameo, and none of them are funny. And then the episode is also just weird. I had a couple, like, exhaling out of my nose moments here and there, but, yeah, the whole thing is a bit of a slog, and, like, none of the, like, remember when we did this, like, none of them produce any, like, funny or good bits or anything like that. It just all feels perfunctory, and it also sucks, like, the Pink We've Got Scurvy song, which apparently was, like, she got, like, canceled for afterwards, which is funny. Some people got mad because scurvy is a thing that people can get in real life. But that part is incredibly shoehorned in, and it's a bad song, and it just made me think of a quote from Steve Hillenburg from, I think, when they were making the movie, where they wanted to have, like, a bunch of different celebrity cameos, and, like, they wanted to have some very trendy artist do stuff for the soundtrack, and I think the most that he was willing to relent was letting Avril Lavigne record a version of the theme song for the promos. But, like, for the actual stuff in the movie, he was like, no, I want to stick to, like, Wilco and Ween and the Flaming Lips, because I like those guys, and I think they fit the tone of the show. I don't want to have popular stuff because it's popular, and I don't want SpongeBob to be hip, because I think that dates him and makes it less timeless and less fun and less good. And as long as he was in charge of the show, that was pretty much how things were run, and as soon as he was done being in charge of the show, the celebrity cameo, basically anyone who asked got to be on that show, and that's how you get... I have to assume they kind of, like, wrote episodes around having, wanting to have people in them, and this one just feels like, no one's heart is in it, because I think a lot of the OG SpongeBob people don't really like doing this sort of thing. And so, I don't know, it just feels like half-assed, but also in a weird way. And the patchy scenes are especially odd for that reason, because it's like, the aesthetic of those parts has always been intentionally, like, shitty and low quality or whatever, but with that episode, it's like, it feels like it's because they really didn't give a fuck. You know what I mean? It's like, it wasn't just for the bit, it was because they literally were like, let's get this bullshit over with. And I don't know, it just, like, left me with, like, a weird bad taste in my mouth. I remembered the Square Roots documentary that came out around that same time, and that's pretty cool. It's a nice little, like, fluff documentary about SpongeBob that aired on VH1 at the same time, and that was nice. But yeah, Truth or Square, I gotta say, pretty much a dud. And I do think that, now that I'm looking back, and when I was watching the episode and remembering how I reacted to certain things when I watched it for the first time, I do think that was, like, the precise point at which I, like, checked out of SpongeBob. I was like, okay, I'm good. I am not going to be tuning into this show anymore. And I think it was literally the stretch of the episode, between two commercial breaks that includes the Pink song, and ends with the fake SpongeBob Sandy marriage reveal. I think it was like at that commercial break after that segment of the episode when I first watched it, where I was literally like, okay, I'm good on Sponge. Like, this is it for me. I am 12 years old, and I have now officially grown tired of SpongeBob. Like, I'm just plain not having fun watching this. And, that sucks. That's never a fun moment to have with anything that you like. But it was funny to actually... It's funny that I didn't remember that is how it was, but that literally... You know, I was thinking back to it, and I was like, wow, no, that literally was the last one. I don't know if it was the last episode I necessarily saw, because there might have been some others that came after that I may have caught at one point. But for the most part, no. It's literally, like, I think that's about... I didn't watch, like, Season 7. I know SpongeBob versus the Big One might be... Or Truth or Square might be in Season 7, I'm not sure. The Big One might be, like, after it in the episode list, but I know that was earlier in 09, because that was also kind of a 10th anniversary thing, because it was a big deal because Johnny Depp is in it. And, yeah. I don't know why this is, like, bullshit. I guess I stood a little too close. But that episode also sucks, from what I remember. I bought the DVD for that. That was the last SpongeBob DVD that I bought. It was also, like, probably one of the last ones they made, other than the season box sets. But, man, yeah, can't say that I love Truth or Square, but I will say I've been enjoying playing this game a lot more than I did watching Truth or Square. I mean, altogether, up to this point with this video, I've played about an hour of this game, and that's how long I spent watching Truth or Square, and I definitely enjoyed recording this gameplay more than I did watching that, because I mean, I was checking the time during a SpongeBob episode. That's not a good sign. That shit should be flying by. But yeah, I do still want to do my, like, watch through all of the new SpongeBob sometime to see what's going on with that. And maybe watch the movies on stream with some friends. That could be fun. But yeah, Truth or Square is the official jumping the shark moment of SpongeBob for me. Seasons 4 through 6, I was really, you know, willing to see it through. There are some gems in there, but it's after Truth or Square is where it pretty much solidly lost me. I think I may have seen a couple others after that. I seem to remember in, like, high school catching, like, a then current SpongeBob episode on TV once at, like, a friend's house. I think it was the Toy Store one, or maybe the one where Gary's shell breaks and he, like, leads a revolution. I don't know if that was before Truth or Square or after. I think it was after. I've seen a couple of those after Truth or Square, but this was the point that I stopped. Like, you gotta understand, I was this fucking SpongeBob stan. I was an appointment viewer of SpongeBob. And this, like, even when it was bullshit, like, far past the point where I was like, these episodes are not good, but I was still drinking that garbage. And it was at this point with this episode that I decided to stop drinking that garbage officially. It was a sad moment. But, you know, we all gotta grow up. And every show either ends too early or goes on too long, so... This part reminds me of a bit from Revenge of the Flying Dutchman. I think the Goo Lagoon Boardwalk part, where the ship chases you. I don't know, it just looks a little bit like that. Maybe also the floating Flying Dutchman heads are giving me vibes. And I like how you can just kind of tiptoe over the quicksand.
Could you do me a favor?
Whatever your little heart desires, sidekick square.
Great. Scratch my further low. I'm a world dervish. I feel 32% happy.
So, I guess the other thing that I saw recently that's worth talking about is Liv and I went and saw the Odyssey, the movie, the new Chris Nolan movie, and it was pretty good. I am not as rapturous about it as a lot of people are. I'm not as big of a Chris Nolan stan as a lot of other movie heads. He's good. He's like a, you know, pretty consistent director of quality, like, big budget movies, but his thing and his style is not, like, exactly my favorite or whatever. But the Odyssey was a really fun time. It was a fun watch, good time in the theater, looks cool. Not a whole bunch for me to, like, chew on. I can't really say I got very involved emotionally very much, but I did have fun seeing what he did with the material, which I'm not, like, super familiar with or attached to. But yeah, it's fun. Worth seeing in theaters if you can. I might go see it again in IMAX when tickets free up a little bit. And it's definitely the best thing that I've seen in theaters so far this year, which is really not saying much because pretty much everything I've seen this year has kind of been stinky so far, but still, it was nice to just see a good old, plain old, fun popcorn flick. I don't know why there are no subtitles for these parts.
Oh, Mr. Krabs, I can't tell you what this means to a sponge like me. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
There's some really good bits of facial animation on SpongeBob in this game. And again, I don't know if it's the Battle for Bikini Bottom model or it just looks really similar. I mean, there's kind of only so many ways to make SpongeBob in 3 dimensions. But yeah. So that's that. We got the spatula. The golden spatula. It would be cool if they just made a straight Battle for Bikini Bottom sequel. I know they've kind of made, like, multiple spiritual ones, it seems. I should check out the new SpongeBob games. Maybe I'll just fuck the poll and have that be the next thing I play through on stream. I love having a poll and then not abiding by it. You should still vote in the poll, though. It's still up. I'll put it in the description of this video if I remember, and if I don't, then it's in part 1 and part 2. Go look in there. And if you're watching this several weeks after I upload it or more, then these things are probably gone. I thought Sandy was just going to T-pose there when I did that, and I was going to laugh. Anyway, next time is Squidward time. See you guys then for that. Thanks for watching.